I think looking back, we wanted life to look differently to the way we were being told life should look. I think what to start with is the kind of the heritage, and the heritage is that this space is actually 3 different timescales. So you have the bedroom, which is in an addition, sort of block addition built in the 60s. And the bathroom as well. You have the main, the bunk room, which is in part of the original 100-year-old house. And you have this room, which we built 15 years ago. So it is mostly a wooden structure. Wood is the material of opportunity, because if you can get it locally, it's approachable in terms of construction with it.
But it's an ecological thing for you, isn't it? For us as well, in the sense that it's just, it's a renewable energy, it's a renewable source that has been used forever. I think again though, it was relational. We wanted to have a relationship with something that was real, that was actually had a life in it. I think we didn't want dead materials in us.
No, that's right. I didn't want my house to be poured out of a cement truck.
Yeah, we wanted something alive. This, one could say is not very alive because it's sort of mud on a wall, but it is alive.
Came out of our land.
You can see my hand marks on, that's my son there.
Yeah, and we dug it out of the land. It was really about how do we adapt what we had into a way that would serve people living here. It kind of all works, but it works in a kind of slightly unplanned way because we were dealing with what we had. So it's not a completely intentional space. It's a space that we've had to really look at how does it work.
And when we found that arched window, that was just like, that's perfect, because we needed a stepping stone. We needed something that was going to make sense, and that window 100% made sense. And that window lends itself to being a partition, but with curtains. It's, again, call and response the whole time. And we planted a vegetable and it turned into a tree. And then we felt we were in a flow after that. That helped us make sense of how everything else will work.
When we converted this, I love being on my drawing board. I love doing drawings. I had to plan out how it would function. But then the rest of it, how it looks, that's completely organic. That just comes about us standing in here together, debating, arguing, what have we got? I remember this was Dolly saying, we just recently built the cob oven, and Dolly said, I want to do a cob wall. It was like, okay, so where can we do a cob wall? Okay, let's do this as a cob wall. So it's that kind of thing. It's been led by interest, by expediency.
Being very clumsy, all those, that's all because I'm incredibly clumsy.
Oh yes.
And I break lots of things.
Plates, you did when
I was pregnant, I had, and when the children were young, I was just dropping things all the time.
Yeah.
So that's all genuine fragments of breakages. So lots of recycling or upcycling, whatever it's called, without knowing that word.
Yeah,
or
lots of mistakes, lots of going down the wrong corridors.
Yeah, so everything has a story, has a time frame, has a...
Yeah. One of my favourite bits, whether I'm building a bit of furniture or I'm building something else, like a structure, is seeing the pile of material. And I think you've come into the workshop before now, when I'm just standing there looking at a wall of wood. And I might do that for hours on end. And the little brain cells are whirring away. I can't draw everything I can sense in my head, so there's a lot I keep in my head, and it's been the same with these spaces, is that I do a sketch for dimension's sake and all of that, and drawings for dimension's sake, but the actual image is stuck in here.
We don't have a kind of style, as it were. Things that we have collected over the years. I grew up in Africa, Nick's travelled lots, we've travelled lots together, and together we've amalgamated and combined things that we've collected as individuals. Somehow it works.
Well, back to this whole thing of does one plan or does one, if I go into a project and I'm too kind of narrow in the way I see it, I'll create a boring thing. Why do people want to come and stay in these sort of places? Because so many houses are built as white boxes. They're built because they were built on the drawing board or on a computer program. Because they're not built with a pile of materials and how does it evolve, because it's not cost effective to build that way. So it takes us a kind of balance between these two things. You don't want to be too chaotic, because you can make yourself an awful lot more work and you need to. So you need to be planned enough and have an idea enough. But you need to respond to the materials you might have around and come up quite weird materials that you might have around.
Well, I think it's creative courage, you know, it's like, and it's imagination, as you say, but it's like having the courage to actually fulfill on the imagination.
Yeah.
That's where the energy, that's where the agency comes, when you are working with your own hands and your own heart-mind connection, and it has to be functional.
Useful and beautiful. I think
Yeah,
beauty,
useful and
we haven't
beautiful.
talked about beauty, and I think
No,
that
beauty is essential.
I think both of us, might not talk about it very much, but we're both very predicated on beauty. We're very hung up about it.